fellow diamond painting addicts, and welcome back to Diamond Painting Anonymous. I'm Daphne, and I'm here today for this week's WIP and Chat. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not new here, welcome back. WIP, W-I-P, stands for Work in Progress, and this is mine. You are welcome and encouraged to go grab whatever you are working on and work alongside while I chat, or alternatively, you can treat this as a podcast and just listen while I chat. Today I am going to be working on my Autumn Sun kit. You guys saw yesterday that I finished my first DP for Veterans Diamond Paint Along kit, which was the poppies. I do have my Patriotic Camper kitted up and ready to go, but I was already working on this one and I really want to finish this one. This one is from my Stay or Go series, and I'm really digging all the fall colors in it. So I'm almost finished with this. I think I can finish it in a couple more, 3 days maybe, and then I will move on to Patriotic Camper. So let me zoom into where I'm going to be working and I will be right back. Okay, I've got my timer going and I'm going to try and get this filmed while everybody is being quiet. We'll see how that goes for me. If it's not traffic, it's the dogs. If it's not the dogs, it's people in the house. If it's not people in the house, it's people outside. So, and it gets dark so early here now, which I should have expected. When we got here last November, it was getting dark around 4:30. It's not quite that bad yet, but it is getting dark quite early. Did I just put a bunch of those on the wrong color? You guys, I'm not starting off very well if I did that. Okay. So that one goes right there. Does that one? Yes. Okay. I've done that already a couple of times, ended up putting the wrong drills on the wrong color and then having to pick them off. And sometimes it's hard to tell, especially when there are like two different oranges. Which one was it that I put in the wrong color? I figure if I can't tell to pull them off, then it probably won't make that big of a difference, right? I'm really loving the teals in this one so far. All right, so let's start out with my diamond painting life. What's going on in my, no, let's start out with my regular life. You guys, good grief. I'm all discombobulated today. I don't know why. I think because it gets dark so often. Hubby and I went grocery shopping and I said, it feels like it should only be like noon, but it's going to be dark in another hour and a half. And then I had to go play adult stuff and pay bills and all that kind of thing. And that took a while. And so it was nice and dark by the time I sat down to start filming, which is fine. It's not a big deal. I have lights, but it just makes it feel so much later in the day when it's already dark, you know? Like it's nighttime already, even though it's only 4:30. Okay, so what do I need to update you guys on? Regular life. We called the vet, got appointments for the dogs, so they'll be going to the vet soon. Hubby called around and found a groomer that will come to our house to do the grooming, which they don't wash the dogs, but they like trim nails and I don't know what else, because they don't give the dogs baths, so I don't know. We could probably give them baths here, but I'd rather just take them to the groomers and let them get used to that. And we do need to get them in and get their claws trimmed. Sable has a couple of dew claws that are about to grow back in on themselves. They're so long, so need to get her in for that. But they do have their vet appointments scheduled, so I was happy about that. I know they had like mobile groomers in the US, but we just always took our dogs into a groomer, so having someone come to our house feels strange, especially if they're not going to give the dog a bath. Like the ones that I knew of had like a food truck kind of set up, and then they would wash the dogs inside their little truck, but they would come to your house. I don't know if they have anything like that around here, but I know one of the pet stores that we went to has a dog washing station where you can take your dog in and just use their little setup. Looks like they used to have a groomer in there, but nobody's ever in there when we go in, so I don't know if they just don't do it anymore. That's why they offer it up for people to do their own. There's a car wash that has one too that says it has a dog wash. Like, I don't know if it's in the same bay where you wash your car. That would seem kind of funny. Anyway, so they're slowly settling in. Somebody made a comment that Oscar seemed like he was pretty calm, and hubby and I had to laugh because he is not at all calm. He is definitely kind of come into his own. He's just a puppy and he has puppy energy. We were laughing because he was chasing one of his toys, and it made me think of something my brother and I used to joke about years and years ago. We had a dog that was pretty dumb, and we used to say that he only had 2 brain cells and he ran on stupetons. So Oscar is definitely giving off that kind of energy lately. Sable is still figuring out where she goes. She's still very, very timid and skittish. If you make any kind of loud noise around her, she will go sit in the corner of the couch. She just gets too overwhelmed with all the loud noises. I mean, we just like clapped our hands one time because Oscar was jumping on something. It wasn't even aimed at her. She went and hid in the corner of the couch like she thought she'd done something wrong. So she's still slowly settling in. But they've been pretty good. Still working on the whole housebreaking thing, but we're getting there. Hubby and I had our anniversary. I told him it seems like just yesterday, and then also like we've been married forever. I don't know how it can feel both of those at the same time, but it does. So I got a jewelry box. He got a new coat. We've been looking at things to get each other for Christmas as well. My son has a birthday coming up first, and I said to him, "What do you want for your birthday?" "Nothing." I said, "You don't want anything?" He's like, "Well, I don't need anything." And I said, "I didn't ask what you needed. I asked if you wanted anything." He still hasn't given me any ideas, so I don't know what I'm going to do. I thought about taking him across the border for like a day trip to go shop for some clothing in the States at like Target because he likes Target, but I don't know if he'd want to do that. He doesn't like driving that far in the car. He doesn't like trying on clothes either. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I've already gotten a list from my daughter and a list from my nephews, so I have everything picked out for them. We don't usually buy for grown-ups, we just buy for the kids, so my other nephew will likely just be getting cash. Then I got to figure out what we're doing for all the family here. I have ideas from everyone, for everyone, except hubby. He'll want something electronic or a kitchen gadget probably, so we'll see what he ends up with. I have several small things on my list, but I don't think I'm going to be asking for any big things. I was talking to my daughter and asking her if she just wanted me to send her cash or if she wanted me to buy actual gifts. She didn't want me to have to spend a bunch of money shipping things, but she wanted actual gifts. And I'm like, I can order it on Amazon and have it sent to you. So it's not going to cost me a whole bunch of stuff in shipping. I'll just order it on Amazon US and have it sent to your house as a gift. Oh, okay. Well, in that case, here's a list of stuff. I'm really loving these teal colors. There's a lot of these teals, mostly oranges, browns, yellows, reds, but some teal down here on the bottom section, and then it's like a darker blue at the top, so enjoying these. So in addition to trying to figure out Christmas gifts, I've also been looking ahead to those Black Friday sales, because it seems more like everybody is doing Black Friday month than just Black Friday these days. And of course, diamond painting Black Friday sales. I've gotten several emails about sales already from various companies, but I went out, well, I'll save that for the diamond painting section anyway. Still looking out for that kind of stuff. I was surprised. We did get a piece of mail from the realtor that helped us sell our house in the States. She sent us a little packet, a package of things that actually came through the regular mail. It only took like 2 weeks and it was like half the cost of sending stuff UPS. So I hadn't been sending things through the regular mail because of the strikes, but I guess maybe I could if I wanted to. Anyway, she sent a package, and one of the things in it, just little thank you gifts, one of the things in it was a little mug, little coffee mug, which is probably no big deal, but it had the mascot of my kids' high school on it. And so I was just, when I opened it, I was like, "Aw," because I have some shirts and things that have their mascot on it from when my son was in sports and things, but they don't last forever. And I wear them a lot, so and I kept thinking, "Oh, I'm never going to be able to replace these because we don't live there anymore." But anyway, it was just it surprised me how kind of emotional it made me feel to see the mascot again. But it was nice of her. It's been raining here a lot. We still have no snow, which is probably not a surprise to a lot of people. We're supposed to be getting some snow here this weekend, but I don't think that where I am is going to get any of it. I think other parts of the province are going to get quite a bit, but not us, which is kind of a bummer. Even though we haven't gotten any snow yet, though, I did get to finally see some northern lights. The earlier part of this week, they were out and far enough that I think most of the US could see them too. But it was really weird. I've never seen them before ever. So I go out with my husband and he's like, "Do you see them?" And I'm like, "No." I'm like, "I see like some white kind of wispy clouds." And he said, "Yeah, that's them." And I'm like, "But they're white. I thought they were different colors." And he goes, "Well, get your camera out and look at it." And so I get my camera out, it won't take any video. The video just looks like it does with my naked eye, just kind of some white wispy clouds. But when I put the camera on and took some pictures, you could see all the greens and everything. It's kind of crazy. I sent my nephew a couple of pictures, and he said, yeah, they'd been talking about going outside, but he didn't think they could see it where they were. Too much light pollution in the city where they were. So I got some good pictures of it. I was completely excited. Now I can say I've seen the northern lights. I remember when I was younger, my dad taking us out to see Halley's Comet the last time it went by, because it would be the only time in our lifetimes that it would be close enough to see. And I remember as a kid thinking, yeah, comet, big deal. Could barely see it in the sky. But now that I'm older, I appreciate that he took us out there. So yeah, another thing to check off my list. Wasn't quite as many colors. Really, it was just pinks and greens here that we could see, but it was still cool. And cool that I got pictures of it. Things are still changing around here. I got a phone call last week from the group that I'm volunteering with. Two of their tutors have had to drop out for various reasons, and they've had an influx of new people needing tutors. I just finished up all my training, so the coordinator called and she was like, "Are you still interested?" So I'll be getting to meet a new person and tutor them. Be interesting to see how it goes. I haven't, the last probably 6 or 7 years that I was teaching, it's been preschool age. So going back to teaching grown-ups will be an interesting change for me. See how much I can remember, how much I need to remember before I go back in. Anyway, I get to meet them in person for the first time, but then after that, we're going to be online. I think I told you guys before, there's another district, basically a council in the province, that's looking for people to do online because they have also more people than they have tutors. And so they were wanting to know if people from other councils could do it online so that they could have enough people to go around. I'm perfectly fine to do it online. I don't mind doing it online. I figured that would actually be easier and nicer than trying to make people get out and go meet somewhere in person when it's 4 feet of snow outside. Of course, we haven't had any snow yet, but you never know. We could. I haven't done a lot of online teaching either, so it'll be interesting to see how that goes for me as well. It's one of those things where they have all kinds of resources, but you know that thing about decision fatigue and people, you get presented with too many options and you can't make a decision. I think instead of decision fatigue, which is a thing, when you have to make too many decisions, like at the end of the day, if you've had to make too many decisions, it's like your brain is like, I can't make any more, stop asking me. But then there's also, I don't know if it's like choice overwhelm or something. Like I remember when my son was a kid, if I gave him two choices of a shirt, he'd pick this one and we'd be out the door in 5 minutes. If I let him pick from his whole closet, we'd be there all day. And I'm the same way. If you give me too many choices, that's why I don't like to window shop, I guess, because I feel like I get overwhelmed with all the choices, and then I feel like I'm never going to be able to make a good decision because there's no way to look at every single option. So it just makes me stressed out, as opposed to my husband, who will sit and window shop and window shop and window shop for hours and hours on end. Whereas I'm like, I'm ready to go. Let's leave. I'm done. Time to go. Maybe that's just a me thing and not an everyone thing like I think it is. So I've been replacing all of these with my ABs. And I'm thinking it looks okay so far. I'm pretty happy with it so far. Since most of the colors are the oranges and reds and yellows and tans, I figure even though it's supposed to be like a dark blend into the background color, it's okay if it's ABs. Plus I get to use up my ABs. So there's that. All right, I think that's everything I wanted to tell you guys about my regular life. So now let's get into my diamond painting life. What's been going on in my diamond painting life? Not a ton. I mean, it's going. I finished my poppies kit like I showed you guys yesterday. So that was my first kit for our DP for Veterans Diamond Paint Along this month. That one is finished. And I had already started working on this one, and I had a couple of nights where I really just kind of sat and worked on this one. So I got far enough along, I was like, you know what, I think I'm going to finish this before I start on the Patriotic Camper, just so I can get it done. I feel like I'm going to spend more time diamond painting since it gets darker earlier. because we'll just be sitting on the couch being cozy with the dogs. But I don't know, maybe we won't. I'm pretty sure I'm past the halfway point on this one. So once I finish this one, which hopefully is just, like I said, another 2 or 3 days, and then I can start on Patriotic Camper, and then I can start looking ahead to December. I definitely am going to do the Christmas shop one, but I need to come up with another couple of kits, I think. And of course, once I finish Patriotic Camper, because I'm doing the Forever Young trays with that one, the other kit that I did, the Forever Young trays, was Treasure Quest. So I want to see how they work with the square drills before I give you guys my final review. Once I finish Patriotic Camper, I'll be doing that. I'm not sure if it's a combination of the trays or my accessories or just the way that I work, but I'm going to try it with both round and square and then see what I think. Hubby was asking me a bunch of questions about it, and I'm like, the colors that I have the most of, orange, orange, and orange. And I did have I had 2 different orange ABs that I was using, but I ran out of one of them. So the ABs for that color are only going to go about halfway through the kit, but that's okay. The point was to use them up if I ran out of them before I was finished. That's all well and good. Won't bother me. I'll be the only one who knows, except for you guys now because I told you. See, if I hadn't told you, you probably wouldn't have known. Anyway, let's see. What else? He was asking me questions about diamond painting, and then later on that day, he was on Facebook and he was getting ads about diamond painting. So he showed me an ad for this one. Oh, look, it's a Canadian company. You should try them. So I get the website, I go look it up. I'm not going to say who it was because I go look it up and it says it's a Canadian website with or Canadian company with an address in Canada. But I always go check out their return policy, their privacy policy, their terms of service, all that kind of stuff, because sometimes what they put on the front page is not always where it really is. And in looking through the rest of the website, their support and return services are in Australia, not Canada. And under their terms of service, they have to put in what country they are located in so that if there's ever anything legal that happens, it advises you what country's laws are going to be in effect. And it was Australia that was listed, not Canada. So I told hubby, I'm trying to figure out how are they a Canadian website other than they have a Canadian address. I mean, I'm assuming it's just another person that's drop shipping. So the kits are coming from China no matter what, right? But instead of having them shipped to Australia and then from Australia somewhere else, they're just doing drop shipping. I can't imagine how it would be cost effective any other way. I mean, I guess they could have somebody in Canada getting the kits, but then why wouldn't you have all that other stuff listed as Canada? So just buyer beware, folks. And I didn't buy anything from the company. They might be a perfectly fine company, but after claiming that they're a Canadian company and then you go look them up and everything is in Australia, it's like, if you're not going to be upfront about that, what else are you not being upfront about? You know what I mean? I saw that DAC released their new advent calendar for this year. Is anybody going to get one of those? I think about it every year and then I think, no. I have enough accessories and things. And while a couple of mini kits might be fun, I don't really need them right now. I'm trying to work on reducing my stash, even though I'm still considering buying some stuff for Black Friday. I was watching Lizette on her channel, and I thought she had said that she was only going to have 24 kits in her stash. But then she said she had 11 whips, which she wasn't counting in her stash. I can't do it that way. First of all, I can't work on 11 whips at the same time. That seems insane to me. And also, to me, they're in my stash until they're finished, I guess. I mean, if I have them out and working on them, but I never have more than 2 or 3 at a time open. And I generally am working on them when they're open. So I think maybe her 24 was a little too restrictive for her. I also thought I needed to sit down and make myself some notes. Okay, like I said, I was going to go through, I went through and looked at a whole bunch of different websites to see, because I have points saved up, are there anything that I want to buy for points before all the Black Friday sales come out? Because I know I won't be able to use any of my points on Black Friday because you can't combine codes on several of the websites. So anyway, looking at those, I was like, well, maybe I want to use my points to buy some stuff before the sales actually happen. And I went through about 5 different websites looking to see if anything was a, ooh, I gotta have this. There really wasn't. I mean, there were a couple that I was like, ooh, this is really cute. There were a couple that was like, oh, I didn't know this artist was selling at 4 different websites. And there were a couple that were like, oh, this is like this one at this other website, but slightly different by the same artist. But just nothing that I was absolutely, oh, must have. And then I was like bummed because I couldn't find anything to buy. But I figured if nothing's leaping out at me, that must mean I don't need anything, right? I mean, clearly I don't need anything, but I couldn't even find anything I wanted, which is kind of sad. I was also only looking at kits that are in stock though, because I hate getting in there and then being like, oh, email me when this one is back in stock. Like, I just want to look at the ones that are available. If it's not available, I don't even want to look at it because then I don't know what I'm missing. Am I the only person who does that? Just me and my crazy brain? Maybe it has to do with that whole choice overwhelm thing. I don't know. Or maybe I'm just, till I get work through some more of my stash, I'm feeling too guilty to buy anything else. I really do want to get some new kits. That's why I started to say I was going to make myself a list of like, pay attention to these things because I never do when I'm ordering things. And that is to look at the size. So how big is it? Because I don't want to order any more super big ones unless I really, really love them. Like, I really liked Little Baker. If there was another kit like that I like that much, I would order it, even if it was big. But some other things, it would be like, okay, if this is this size or smaller, I'll order it. But if it's larger, then no. So I want to remember to look at size. Remember to look at whether it's square or round drill, because I'm kind of scared now to buy on Dreamer Designs. Their rounds were so good, like this kit here. But I bought this kit back in 2021, I think. So this is back when their round drills were good. Everyone said since then they've updated their squares, and now their squares are really good, but the rounds are not so great. So I got to look at when is the release date of something so that I know, is this an older kit that might have bad drills or be a gappier square? Or is this a newer kit and so I'd be okay getting a square? Or is this a newer kit and I should stay away from rounds? So size, release date, whether it's round or square, because rounds just work up faster. I mean, obviously, because they're bigger. But I feel like more and more kits are squares only these days. Does anybody else feel like that? Like, probably not at the budget companies, but a lot of the like premium companies that charge more for their kits. I feel like those have gotten big, and I don't want to have too many big kits. I am working on my goals for next year, and I think I've figured out pretty much what I want to do for the main goals, but now I need to go through and break them down and figure out, okay, how can I break this down into chunks so that I can get everything done that I want to do? Things that I don't normally remember to do. Like if I'm going to do, say, all of my old 2021 kits, how many kits is that? And how does that relate to my finish goal? Like if I want to finish, say, 20, but I have 10 2021 kits, then I only need to complete 10 kits of non-2021. Because I don't want to just work on old kits. I feel like I would get burnt out if I did that. Some kits aren't too bad. My Treasure Quest was pretty old, and it was gappy, but not terribly so. And it was square. But I'd also like to do some of my kind of one-off kits, the one-hit wonder kits. I've got a Make Market left. I've got a Francesca's left. I've got a Jaded Gem Shop because I've never actually done one of her kits. And what was the other one? I think there was 4, but now I can't remember what the 4th one was. I don't know. I'll think of it later. Anyway, plus I kind of wanted to order some things on before Black Friday, Cyber Monday, so I could see like what am I going to have to pay extra in shipping or what? Because it says I won't have to, but it's not always true. Although come to think of it, I haven't gotten the bill for our tolls yet, and I didn't get a bill for an extra fee for the last time my sister sent me a package, so So is there anything out there that you guys have your eyes on that you thought, oh, I'm going to wait until Black Friday to see if this goes on sale? Or are you waiting to see what the new releases for Black Friday are going to be? I'm kind of wondering if everybody's going to have as many new releases as they normally do, or if it's going to be less. I really want there to be at least a couple of kits that I'm like, yes, I need to have this one. Like I said, so far out looking, there was a couple that I was like, that one's kind of pretty, but then I was like, So yeah, trying to remember size, whether I want round or square, the release date so I know whether it's new or old. Is there anything else I should be paying attention to? I mean, I'll be looking at the price, obviously, but I think size, whether it's round or square, the release date are the biggest things for me that I want to make sure I look at before I just dump a whole bunch of kits into my cart. My son was making fun of me the other day because I was talking about buying some, and he's like, "You don't have enough?" And I was like, "What do you mean have enough?" And he goes, "Well, you have like 9,000 of them." I'm like, I don't have 9,000. I don't even know what I would do with 9,000 diamond paintings. I would definitely have to give some away at that point. That's just crazy. Is there anything else I need to tell you guys? I need to run some polls for our next year's diamond paint alongs because I want people to have enough time to kind of plan it out. I know there's people who are already planning their entire calendar for next year, which is kind of funny because for as organized as I am, there are still some times when I'm like, I scheduled this kit, but I'm not feeling it, so I'm going to do this other one instead, which maybe is bad. Maybe I shouldn't do that, but I feel like if I'm always forcing myself to work on kits that I really don't want to do at the time, I mean, I've powered through some where I wasn't super into them. I always enjoy the actual diamond painting, don't get me wrong. The actual process of putting drills down on canvas is always enjoyable. Just sometimes if it's super gappy, maybe it's not so nice. Maybe if the drills are kind of trashy, maybe it's not so nice, or at least not as nice as it could be. But anyway, kind of funny. I feel like I've diamond painted more since we got the dogs, which I would have thought I was doing less of, but I'm generally sitting on the couch with a table in front of me, or I'll pull out my chair and diamond paint while they're sleeping on the couch because they spend most of their time doing that, just getting adjusted. They said 3 days to decompress from the road trip, 3 weeks to kind of really settle in. I think Oscar's pretty much settled in, but I think Sable is still not quite sure where she fits yet. Although she is the quiet one and she's dark colored, so when she sits on the couch, sometimes you can't see her. She kind of blends in and she doesn't really bark. Oscar's the one who barks. And funnily enough, really the only thing that he barks at is my son. Whenever my son comes out of his room, generally with his hoodie pulled up or he'll be wearing like a baseball cap or something, Oscar will growl or bark at him until he realizes who it is, and then he starts wagging his tail. But it's like he's been coming out of that room for a week now. Do you think it's a different person every time? I don't know. But he's feeling more comfortable. We bought them some chew toys. Oscar has been loving that. He is definitely one I think that will end up learning to fetch. He doesn't always bring it back to you so you can throw it again, but he'll at least come back and sit by you and chew on it. Sable is having none of it. She is not interested in fetch at all, barely interested in the toys. This morning I got woke up because they sleep in the same crate because it's a super big crate made for dogs much bigger than them. I mean, they have enough room they can separate into their own sides if they want to, but they generally kind of snuggle up together. But she's very much definitely kind of that mama dog vibe. He'll run behind her, kind of jumping and bouncing and nipping at her, and she'll put up with it to a certain point, and then she'll turn around and get in his face, and then he goes and sits down for a while. But even then, she's not really loud about it. We need to take them for car rides, though. We're trying to get him used to being on a leash. I think Sable will do okay on a leash, but Oscar did not understand the concept when we picked him up, so we took him outside in the yard to let him just run around out there, and he'll just run till he gets to the end of the leash and then jerk when he hits the end of it. I'm like, stop running away so far. So we're going to work with them on that and then get them in the car and see. I think she'll ride in the car nicely too. I remember taking our dachshunds when we had them in the car. Oh my gosh. One of them would just lay down in the seat and go to sleep and he'd be quiet. The other one would whine and cry. He wanted to be on your lap so he could see out the window the whole trip. Even though he could be in the passenger seat and see out the window in the passenger seat, no, that wasn't good enough. He wanted to be on your lap. So he was kind of a pain in the butt when we were driving with him, but we took that long trip back after we got them, and I don't think Sable ever fell asleep, but she was quiet in the car, even though she really obviously wanted to come up front with my husband and I. She stayed in the back. Oscar just fell asleep in my son's lap, so. Okay, I think I got off of the diamond painting topic there, but that's okay. It's not like you guys don't know that I go on tangents, right? Okay, so there's some of the ABs you couldn't see me putting on there, but you can see this is going to be part of a flower. I've got some big leaves here. This is going to be another big like sunflower. So I've got a couple more flowers to do and the other half of the sun's face for this one, and then I should be done with this one, and then I'll move on to Patriotic Camper. Don't forget to keep posting your pictures in the Facebook group of the things that you guys are working on for the Veterans Paint Along. I love to see what everybody's doing. And I'll try to post some pictures of what I'm working on, even though it's really not a veterans kit. And you can do the same, even if you're not working on a kit for veterans, feel free to post your pics. I love to see what everybody's working on. That's it for me today, guys. Thanks so much for sticking around till the end of the video. Before you leave, don't forget to do all the things. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification icon so that you can be informed of future uploads. And as always, guys, thanks so much for watching.